There we go. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Marcel. People like checking in. This is the Really Outchea podcast. This is my third episode. You know what I'm saying? I am blessed, honored, and privileged to have this brother right here, man. World travel, you know what I'm saying? All over the country, known for ripping stages down. Y'all give it up for Mr. Minnesota Mean himself, Carnage the Executioner, you know what I'm saying? So now the people who are watching, they're, you know what I'm saying? How you doing today, good brother? How you doing, man?
I can't complain, man. I'm healthy. I'm doing good. Just came from the post office, dropping some merch off to be shipped, some records, and paying my bills, man.
100%, man. It's. I definitely want to ask you about that a little later because there's a post office up the street. My wife has a like a clothing company or whatever, she's a seamstress or what have you. So, you know, between these Bandcamp Fridays, the post office is seeing a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? We definitely gonna talk about that Bandcamp post in a little bit. But yeah, so look, I first heard about you. Of course, like, you know, I'm definitely a Southerner or whatever, definitely a conscious MC, but I am a backpacker at heart, right? You know what I'm saying? So I've always so one of the meccas of what I consider backpack underground hip hop is Minneapolis, Minnesota. I played my first gig there 2018. I was at the Nomad in South Minneapolis, and as you know, the area has like a lot of East African immigrants over there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
At one point, and you can ask Mally, you know, Mally, he was there.
Oh yeah, his family.
Yeah, at the end of the night, a drunken Ethiopian man heard my music and he told me he saw God in me, and he gave me $20 to buy a t-shirt, and he bent over and kissed my Adidas.
Damn.
You God, I see God in you. He literally bent over, and I still have those blue Adidas, you know what I'm saying? So
wow.
The next night I played.
You gotta retire him after that, man.
Yeah, oh man, bro, he was so drunk. I don't even think he got the shirt. He gave me the money, and I gave him a shirt. He said it was too small, and he put it on. I went to go give him another shirt. I don't even think he got the shirt. Like, he was just dead wasted or whatever.
Wow. No, I'm saying you retire the shoes.
Oh yeah, that. Oh, the shoes are definitely in the closet. I'm never they beat up now, but I'm never. I might bronze them motherfuckers. But
there you go.
The next night, you know what I'm saying? I played at a place called. It was in St. Paul. It's called Can Wonderland.
Yep.
And that was the craziest thing ever. Underground.
Oh, it's crazy, man.
Carnival. You know what I'm saying? And it was
golf
just crazy.
Course, mini golf
course, everything, like fair foods and everything. So that was crazy. So like, I rock when I go out there. I rock with LIB.
Oh, okay, that's the homie.
Yeah,
that's
LIB.
Yeah, good brother.
Francis, I can't remember. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. The dude who sing. He sings with him. The guy who sings with him. LIB. I rock with Prismatic. I rock with
that's the other homie, other family.
The DJ, DJ Midi. I want to say Medieval.
That person I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, but like that whole little crew, man, they came. I brought them to Louisiana and everything. But so you're from Chicago. Tell me how you ended up doing hip hop in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Well, I was born in Chicago.
Gotcha.
So you know, I left Chicago, or my family left Chicago, in search of better lands and easier living.
Gotcha.
like a lot of Black people during that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I was about 4 or 5 years old. So I was super young. Okay. And I went straight to St. Paul. So that's where I lived first. And I was already into music. As far as I could remember hearing music, I was always tapped in. I could always hear it in the background. I could always discern music from anything else. So my brain was already focused on anything I heard. So, you know, around those times, let me see, Sugar Hill Gang, you know, was coming around. But it was mostly R&B, man. It was mostly like the Patti LaBelle's, the Anita Bakers, the Teddy Pendergrasses, the Luther Vandross, all of that. That's what I really was accustomed to hearing more of, because that's what my mom used to play. She didn't know nothing about no hip hop because nobody knew anything about hip hop because it wasn't even really that yet. but I was really into the R&B music that I was hearing, and I found that I had a good memory for arrangements, like song arrangements. Like I mean, I wouldn't call myself a singer by any means, but I can hold a note a little bit, and I can hit keys, and I can harmonize a little bit. Um, but I found myself being able to remember notes really well in songs and remember transitions in songs. So when I hear any of these old school joints that I used to listen to as a kid, I know I remember what's going to happen next from when I was like 6 and 7 years old.
Mm.
You know, I know where the song is going to flow, and I know what's going to happen, and I know what the notes are going to do. And it's just something that it's always been there. And if there was, I would say, if there was a such thing as audiographic memory, you know, like there's such thing as photographic memory, which they say is a real thing. I would say I would be pretty close to being audiographically, you know, inclined to memorizing things, you know, music. I know sequences very well, like listening to songs that like I was really into the DJing aspect coming up. You know, like the first thing I really wanted to do in hip hop was be a DJ. When I saw Herbie Hancock Rocket, when I saw that
Mm.
when I saw that video, I lost my goddamn mind,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "This is the coolest shit ever." And when I realized that there was a DJ's hands making those records, make those sounds, that's what I wanted to do. But that was all in the midst of being into breakdancing, because I used to breakdance too, and beatboxing too. Beatboxing was coming around the corner right after
Right.
that. So my first experience in actually being able to physically make music was beatboxing, strangely. But I wanted before that I wanted to be a drummer. So I used to watch MTV all the time, and I would get into all of the rock songs and stuff they would play, all the '80s hair band, all of that stuff. I was into that because that's what was on. That was the era I grew up in, and that's what I was visually able to see. You know, so like I'm talking like Def Leppard and Van
Mm-hmm.
Halen and
Mm-hmm.
Huey Lewis and the News and you know, Michael Jackson. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan.
Bruh. Yes.
Yeah, Thriller was happening around all that same time. You know, so listening to all of that stuff, I feel like I'm well rounded in different types of music, and it all influenced me in some way, shape, or form. So watching these rock bands playing with these big ass drum sets where there's drums, the whole room, the whole stage was drums. I wanted to be a drummer. So I would set up pillows and stuff on my mom's couch, and I would get wooden spoons. And when she wasn't home, I would make myself feel like I was
Wow.
playing. I was make myself act like I was playing the drums to
Uh-huh.
all of the songs that would come on MTV until I remembered all of the songs. So I knew all of the songs that would come on. I knew all the R&B stuff. Then when hip hop started to hit, my memory started to expand into that. So I would remember scratch sequences. Like I still know, I hear Herbie Hancock in my head right now, like I'm hearing it playing on the radio. I hear it in my head. So yeah, I was really into all of that stuff. And then when beatboxing happened, it was just like, okay, this is something I actually can do because I don't need instruments for it. I don't need money for it. It's free, and it still makes rhythm. It allowed me to physically articulate the rhythms I was hearing in my head and rhythms I was hearing from other songs. So I just became really adept at beatboxing. So I would say by the time I was 12, I was probably really, really pretty good at beatboxing. And yeah, my biggest influence then was Buff Love, Human
Mm-hmm.
Beatbox from Fat Boys.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Dougie Fresh was around there too. And then, you know, slowly but surely, the other guys started coming in. We started having Biz Markie and Human Jock Box from Skinny Boys. We had Ready Roxy with Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff. Then, you know, a little bit down the road from there, let me see, Stetasonics had Wise. Then they had, who else was there? It was Rozelle.
Yeah.
Rozelle came
Razel,
a
yeah.
little later. Yeah, with the Roots. I was turned on to Rozelle, and I got the horn from Rozelle. When I heard Rozelle go,
Yeah.
remember he was doing that on the Roots
Yeah.
record, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, that shit is cool. So that's one of the newer things I picked up from newer beatboxers that wasn't like Dougie Fresh and
Gotcha.
the other guys I named.
So couple questions. So okay, so when I did my show in St. Paul, I noticed like, so I was like always, one of the few black guys on the bill. A lot of white guys rapping. I was doing this album release party. I can't remember the guy's name. He was a cool dude too. But it was like 2 or 3 white dudes get up here doing this super soulful ass, like almost neo soul R&B. And I'm thinking like, where these white boys getting the soul from? In Minnesota, and I thought about it. Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, Prince, Prince. You know what I'm saying? So like, so when you said like you come from that era, and when you said that like R&B was one of your first influences, of course it was. You have like because Minnesota has, you know, Minneapolis, the Twin Cities have given us some world class, top of the line R&B and soul music or whatever. So I think that's interesting. So I guess my other question is: so did you ever learn how to play drums? Like you knew the mechanics of it, but did you ever get nice on the trap set?
Nah, I never really did, because I didn't get a chance to actually get on a drum set until I was much older, and by then the interest wasn't the same. You know, I like to watch people play drums, and I love to go back and forth with drummers, rapping and beatboxing and vocal scratching and stuff like that. But it's the same as turntablism. I wanted to be a DJ, and then when I got a chance to get on the turntables, I was already on some rapping. Yeah,
head first in that. And so it's funny, like, so my father, God bless his soul, he was a gospel musician, and so all I heard was gospel music and anything Jackson 5. So it was Michael Jackson, Jackson 5, whatever. I got into hip hop on my own. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm also a big Prince fan. Big Prince fan.
Definitely shout out to Prince.
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, when they were producing, they did. I think they was doing the SOS band too. I think they did the SOS band and that type of that sound. And then they, Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
All of that was part of my upbringing too. So yeah.
I mean, I grew up in Southern Oklahoma, so like, you're lucky to have that in your backyard, because we didn't really have that. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have like we and to this day, Oklahoma still doesn't necessarily have a musical identity. Like it's west, it's south of Mason-Dixon, west is Mississippi, so it's like southern. It's technically the South, but then it's Midwest, and then all the gangs brought dope. You know what I'm saying? To Oklahoma, so it has like a big West Coast culture. And then where I grew up 30 minutes north of the Texas border, so it has like a lot of Texas influence. And so like
super melting pot.
Right. So that's the reason why I'm a conscious backpacker, country rap tunes. You know what I'm saying? Because these
boom
are
bap, all
boom bap with and then a lot of my stuff discusses like, gang politics and gang culture, because people with Crips and Bloods where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? But like for me, like being in Southern Oklahoma, like I said, I had access to instruments because my father was a gospel musician. I don't know how many instruments he played, but he mostly like focused on like guitar, like rhythm guitar. And you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I didn't have access to like turntables. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in the 80s and 90s in Southern Oklahoma, I was too fat to break dance. You know what I'm saying? I could pop like a little bit, but I was too fat to get down on the floor. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And break dance. And to this day, I can't draw without drawing outside the line. So graffiti was out of my question. So
I did that too.
So MCing for me was like my way. Like I said, like growing up, my father being a gospel musician, like watching him create his art, and then like he would sit on the edge of his bed, he would scrabble, and then he'd get his guitar out, he'd go downstairs on his analog and his tapes and record, and then I've seen him at somebody's church, somebody's gym auditorium singing, and people catching the Holy Ghost. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So for me, like, because of the era I grew up in, hip hop is what, you know what I'm saying, really got me. You know what I'm saying? And
how old are you?
I'm 37.
Oh, okay. 30, that sounds about right.
Yeah, 37 or whatever. So that's what got me. And like specifically, like the live performance of it, right? The creation of the art, but like live performance is something. So it's something that like I've tried to explain you to people as a live performer, but I can't. So like I think when I really got hip to what you were doing, I was I am a student of Super Duty Tough Work. And you was on your tour last year, and you stopped in Columbus, and you went to the studio, you recorded with Blueprint. And like
family.
And shout out to Blueprint. I'm trying to get Elijah on here too. We definitely talked or whatever.
Oh yeah, other family.
100%. So like, and you were talking about like it made me feel so good when you were talking about touring or whatever, because like you was talking about how you use your social media to book shows. Like, man, look, I can't. When I say if I do 70 shows a year, maybe 10 are booked via email. That Facebook Messenger is a thing, like especially for like us, we're a little older, and you know what I'm saying, like we're not tapped into Twitter, Instagram like that. Facebook is better for us older underground rappers, right? That Facebook Messenger really gets down.
Facebook, man.
So when you said that, I was okay. I feel better, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, man, you was on it, man, and like it's funny that you say that. It's so dope that you caught that, because this one cat, trying to remember his name, cool cat out there in St. Louis.
Okay.
He represents another cool rapper out there. Damn, what's this guy's name? Starts with an R. Fuck, it's gonna mess with me. I'm before we're done.
Is it Rec Riddles? Rec Riddles?
Yes.
That's my guy. That's my guy. Like we
actually,
like so he and I was supposed to. He and I was supposed to do a Midwest tour. In April before COVID. Like we did. Like we go. Like he's so look. So I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna pause you right there. So I'm gonna tell you how everything links back up with us. The next person I was about to say I saw you with. So 2000. Let's go back to 2018. I had some shows booked. I had a show booked starting in Fort Wayne, Indiana, ending in Chicago, and I had Cleveland, and I think I had Detroit lined up. They fell through. So I called my guy Big Low, who was in Pensacola.
Big Low, I know him.
He said, "Damn, it's such a small world." So Big Low and I are like, we're the guys from the South who kind of tours in y'all circuit. Like that's, So we
yep. and he does good out here.
I got a lot of my circuit from him. So boom. So he was like, I was like, yo, bro, I'm flying out on the Thursday. I ain't flying back until the Monday. I got these dates I need to fill in. You know what I'm saying? So what I was like, I saw that you did some shows in Wisconsin. Who can you link me up with? Boom. He calls Dinku.
That's another family.
So he links me up with Dinku, right? So it just so happens that Dinku is doing the show. And Trife Diesel, you know what I'm saying, Wu-Tang affiliate or whatever, is the headliner for the show. And so he's doing the tour with DJ M80 and Rec Riddles. So I go to Wisconsin, I go to Milwaukee for the first time ever, never been there before in my life. I do the show, I steal the show. I ain't gonna lie to you, Carnage.
Oh yeah.
I do my thing. Like being a backpacker from the South, it's really hard because like the South is not known for backpack hip hop, underground hip hop. But when I leave the South, I have to fight against. So when I'm in the South, I'm too other, right? But when I leave the South, I have to fight against these stereotypes of what they think Southern hip hop is, right? So I steal the show. Like I carry this chip on my shoulder. So I steal the show. From there, me and Deku strike up a relationship, and then Rec Riddles and I strike up a relationship. Rec got me on my first show. So shortly after that, we did a 2x2 in Columbus together. You know what I'm saying? And then then next year he got me on my first ever New York City show, which was great, and I got him on his first Memphis show. So it's crazy that Rick, Low, but so right after I saw you on Super Duty Tough Work with Blueprint, I'm just thinking about how the map moves. I think after that you might have did like 4 or 5 days with Dinku. You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
So hearing you talk about your style on Super Duty Tough Work, and then actually just seeing the couple minute clips of what you do live, I was just like blown away. I was just like, yo. So for people who are watching, I can't explain what you do. So I can't. So what I want to do is I want to play some of this video of you doing what you do. And then like after a while, so people can watch what we're doing, I kind of want you to like break down your style, how you really develop the style. So this is you doing Hustle to Struggle. You was on the tack of the Show Stealer, and this is exactly what the fuck you do. You definitely are a Show Stealer. This shit is amazing. All right, I'm ready. So yeah, I'm about to pull this up, about to watch this for a little bit, and then I'm gonna pause it and ask you some questions because I must know. All right.
Okay.
All right.
all hyped up. I gotta slow down a little bit. I'm sorry. This is what y'all do to me in Denver.
There it is.
This is some more grown man shit for y'all. The world is filled with fucking issues right now. There's a lot going on. Too many things to even name. Some of us aren't able to make it out of these painful situations we're struck with. But when I get in these kind of situations, there's this saying I made up that I say to myself. It's helped other people out. It goes like this. Hustle the struggle, don't let the struggle hustle you. Hustle the struggle, don't let the struggle hustle you. Help me out. Hustle the struggle, don't let the struggle hustle you. Hustle the struggle, don't let the struggle hustle you. You guys are fucking awesome. I'ma say,
Man, look, I had a whole podcast playing your videos if I could. Like, okay, all right. So I guess so. So this is the question I want to ask before I get into this specifically. So, and this is another thing I think we might have in common. So I looked, on Wikipedia, it has the year you were born, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says your first album was Worth the Wait. It didn't come out until 2011.
That shit's wrong. I had an album before that.
Okay, what was the first album?
My first solo album was Sense of Sound in 2007.
2007. Okay.
Yep, but before that, I put out about 5 projects that I was like 4 or 5 projects that I did with other groups that I was in. So I didn't become a solo artist, a full-fledged solo artist until 2004, but then I still was doing stuff with other people, and I didn't release my first album until 2007. So whoever's doing Wikipedia ain't keeping up with the shit.
Okay, so I'm glad I asked you that because I definitely understand it can be capped, but and I saw you did your work with Ill Chemistry and Salty. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I'm assuming these are acts within the Minnesota underground scene in the Minneapolis underground scene. Cool.
Yep, and those are other groups that I'm with. Desdemona is a female artist who I started performing with in 2003, and then we made our debut album together in 2012, but we did 2 mixtapes before that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then Salty, we did 1 EP together. No, we did 2 EPs together, and we started performing together in 2008, and we still do some stuff today. But before that, I was with another group called The Sweeps, And we performed together from like 1999 until 2004, and then I went solo in 2004.
So I guess my question, so I didn't get serious about my solo career until I was 27. Like my
10 years ago.
the project that kind of really put me out there. Literally, I dropped it on my 27th birthday, three days before my first child was born. My daughter was born, and about 4 months, about not even 4 months, about 3.5 months after I got married, right? And so like a lot of people really putting them. It's funny because like a lot of people feel like if they not owned by that age, they quit rapping, right? And so like for you, another thing I look for you as inspiration, and like, you know, like I'm watching you not even age gracefully, like you get better. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, the fact, you know, even, you know, 2011 was incorrect, but you went solo in your 30s, man. And you still like your input and your live show has got better. So like, just let you know, man, I'm definitely watching that. And like
Thank you.
It definitely gives me hope. Okay, so to this right here. How the hell do you develop a live show like this, man? Like, okay, so it totally made sense when you were talking about like your audiographical memory and how you remember where notes go and transitions go. And so I'm watching it in real time. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely watching it real time. But like, you know, this isn't what Dougie Fresh does. This isn't what Marcel does.
Right.
This isn't what Buffy did. God bless his soul. This isn't what, you know what I'm saying, Biz Marquis did. Like specifically, man, like how did you develop this particular style? And like, how long did you have to like, how long did it take for you to perfect it to where you was like, okay, I'm that motherfucker when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, this beatbox and shit?
Okay, so like I told you before, I messed with beatboxing really starting at around age 9 or 10. I think it was 10-ish. I was also into Transformers at the time. So Transformers was in 1984. Everybody between 84 and 86, everybody was totally into Transformers. So this is where some of my backpacking starts coming in. I was a Transformer nerd. The sound effects that they made, the voices, the personalities, and all of that they had, I used that to develop part of my personality, part of my characteristic, and part of my style. So like when you hear me making these sounds, some of the stuff I'm mimicking is my ability to make sounds when I used to watch the Transformers. I'd pick up on different sounds and different gun sounds and stuff like that. And I was a huge Transformers toy collector. So I would have my action figures and I'd be playing Transformers and I'd be making the gun sounds. All the sounds that all the Transformers made on the cartoons, I would make those sounds while I was playing with the toys. So when I was beatboxing, I was kind of already sound effect inclined. So beatboxing came to me probably easier than it would come to some other people who don't make sound effects. In addition to that, I feel like I was extremely rhythmic because my love for drumming. I really paid attention to drummers. So there was that. And then guitar is my favorite instrument. So the melodies and the sounds that a guitar can make are very similar to the voice. So that helped me when I was rapping. So when you start putting all of that stuff together, you already have all of your tools. You know, like by the time I started rapping for real, I had a lot of tools already. And by the time I did my first real show when I was 17 years old or 18 years old, I killed it because I knew so much about what I had already studied to be able to transform it or, you know, transfer it onto a stage performance. So the beatboxing sensibility, even when I started rapping, never left me. I never stopped beatboxing. In fact, I was still beatboxing a lot because I had a lot of friends who were into music. I was a very social young man. I would go to parties, and you know, when your friends get drunk and high, everybody think they can rap. So I was always the beatboxer for anybody who wanted to rap. But when it was my turn to rap, I could never rap to beatboxing because nobody knew how to beatbox. I was the only one who could really beatbox. So I would say that I probably only beatboxed or rapped to beatboxing maybe once or twice in my whole life before I started doing it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a funny story I tell. I say to people, I was never able to rap to beatboxing until I rapped to my own beatboxing. And it really it really came from like, okay, so I'm not sure if you know my connection with Idea, but me and Idea were really, really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
And when I met him, he was with DJ Abilities,
mm-hmm.
and me and him would show up at places, and I would beatbox for people to rap. I would beatbox for him to rap, and then me and him would rap together. It was kind of like a ritual that we would do. Mm-hmm. We would show up and people would shove the mics in our faces and be like, "The Coaches is here." You know, they called us the Coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would later on start saying that me and him should be a group called the Coaches, because he was like, "We teaching these motherfuckers how to do it. We teaching these motherfuckers how to rap." And I was beatboxing. I would beatbox for DJs to scratch. And then when I went on tour with him in 2003 and 2004, he would have me come out and beatbox for him and DJ Abilities when they freestyled. So I was always beatboxing anyway. And then in 2003, I started working with Desdemona when she was doing a project. She had came out with her solo album, her first solo album in 2004. So actually we started working in 2004, I would say. She came out with her album in 2004, and she said, "I would like you to be my live band. I would like you to beatbox for me because I can't really afford a band and I don't want to play 2 pre-recorded tracks." And I was like, "All right, cool. Come over to my house and let's practice." So she came over and she would start doing a rhyme, and then I would come in with a beat immediately. And it would be like, "All right, that's one song done." Then she would come with another rap, and I'd hear the rhythm, and I'd come with another beat, another song done. Give me another one. She'd start rapping, come with a beat, bam, we're done. 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, we had a three song set. So a couple days after that, we went and we performed together for the first time, and we killed it. And people were like, "Okay, so here's like what the black and white female and male Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick." You know what I'm saying? Like we was kind of on that shit. So nobody was really doing that in the city. Nobody was beatboxing, or nobody was rapping to beatboxing until her and I started bringing it together. Like people would do it in ciphers, but they weren't doing it as a whole show thing.
Like this is your act. This is like your act.
This is our act. So then a couple years after that, we became a group, and we started calling ourselves Ill Chemistry. Mm-hmm. And then people started booking us as Ill Chemistry. But I did a show with her in 2006, right? And this was a stacked bill. Like it had me and her on it. It had my boys, the Bill Mike Band. It was a rock guitar singer guy with his drummer, who's incredible, and then his bass player. And it was just a 3-piece band. And I saw them and I was like, this is the type of band that I want to be in if I ever have a band. Like I wanted a band. I didn't want a band like the Roots, like a hip hop band. I wanted a rock band to play my hip hop songs. Mm-hmm. So my whole vision of what I wanted out of my live performance was already preconceived. Mm-hmm. It was always something that I visualized before I actually did it. So I looked at them and I was like, that's going to be my band. Then this other girl came out, this girl named Deborah G. And she was looping herself playing guitar and singing at the same time. And I had seen another female artist named Molly Dean do it before her, but I wasn't as close to her to really see what she was doing. Like we weren't necessarily on the same bill. So I watched her do it and I was like, she's dope. You know, and I asked her what she was doing. She told me she was looping, but I didn't really, it was kind of like, it wasn't until I saw Deborah G do it that I was like, okay, that's something I probably need to try. And this is what she did, bro. On her last song, God damn it, she took her earring off and she hit it up against her guitar and looped it like a drum and then played her guitar and sang over it. And I fucking lost my mind. I was like, that is the fucking dopest shit. After that, luckily I knew her because I ran up on her like, yo, what did you just do? What the hell was that?
Right.
And she was like, oh, I got this Boss RC20 loop station. And, if you want to learn how to do it, I'll show you how to do it. I was like, well, I need to get one. She was like, well, when you get one, let me know. Or, she was just really cool about it. Like if I would have asked her, could I use hers? She would have let me do it.
Right.
But she was like, it's not really that hard to do. If you find one, then I'll tell you how to do it. So I knew in the back of my mind that rock band, the Bill Mike band, was going to be my band, and that I needed to find myself a loop pedal. And I told Desdemona, I'm going to start looping because I think that'll bring our show to the next level. I think it'll make it so that not only will our songs have more depth, because I was straight beatboxing for an hour. I'm not a small dude now, but you can look on this video and see that I'm bigger on that video than I am now. And I was bigger than that back then. So I was, but I had the stamina. Like I had breath control. I could rap for a long time. I could rap fast. I could beatbox for hours. So it wasn't really a thing of me feeling like I needed it as a means of making my live performance easier to execute. It was more about me adding musical layers to what it was I was doing.
Just making it doper. Just making it
doper. But I really wanted to be musical. I wanted to add. I wanted to add layers of drums. I wanted bass lines. I wanted sound effects. I wanted to be able to make my shit sound full, like the songs that I was hearing in my head that I had the audiographic memory for. I was like, there's not many songs that I can't like pretty much imitate beatbox style. So I would just, when I got my pedal, I started just making beatbox versions of all of the songs I had in my head. I was doing Paul Revere and Ain't Nothing But a G Thing and all, like Mind Playing Tricks on Me, Ghetto Boys, Funky Drummer, James Brown, Impeach the President. You know what I'm saying? Like these are all beats that I would start making these beats when I got my loop pedal. So I became an instant sensation for people because they was like, oh my God, this dude is like a human jukebox. So people started hiring me to actually be their band. Yeah, go ahead.
No. I'm saying like, it's crazy because like I feel like, and I'm assuming, but it probably gave like it probably pushed you in a direction in your career, giving you almost like a second, like a new energy that you probably
totally.
I'm not saying you probably, but like you know what I mean, like
totally.
like you found like this new wave, and like you're the only person doing this. So like the only person I've ever seen do the pedal, you're the first hip hop artist I've seen do it. This is a white guy. He's like a white soul singer from like LA. Name is Kevin somebody. Mm-hmm. And like he travels the country and he does like mostly like poetry readings or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he whatever. But he's a feature. He don't do poetry. He sings or whatever. But he's the only person I've seen using the pedal. You're the only person I've ever seen do it with hip hop and do it with beatbox and things of that nature. So like
no hip hop artists. Yep, no hip hop artists.
That makes you super duper. And it's crazy. Like I'm very grateful that like you're giving me the long form story because I want these young artists to hear that. Right. Like I want like the thing about myself that I try to do is I try to tap into what makes me the most unique and then put it on steroids. I'm my only child, so I don't like doing what other people do. I'm inspired by a lot of people.
Right.
I'm a student, I'm motivated, but I try hard as I can to be my own artist and be the best artist I can. And sometimes when like you really put your 10,000, your 100,000 hours into being the best that you can be, not compete with nobody, naturally your best is gonna be better than other people's best. It's so like it's, you know what I'm saying? It's so like and then let me say this too. You can't do this if you rap over vocals, people.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Like this.
Nope.
So just your showmanship, man. It's amazing. And Lord willing, when this pandemic is over, we will be in the same room.
Oh somewhere. Yeah. No, me and you. I want to make beats for you. Like I'm saying, like I'm a collaborator by heart, by nature. You know, it's in my heart to like do stuff with people. So it's like, and I don't need to, like, I am the self-proclaimed. Well, actually, I didn't give myself the name Show Stealer. People gave me that name. It's just kind of like, you know, Ghetto Boys. Scarface's first artist name was DJ Action. He was a DJ. When somebody, I remember I was watching an interview with him, and somebody was like, "So, you know, with Scarface, how did you come up with that name and the persona?" He was like, "The people gave me that name." He was like, I did the Scarface song and everybody liked it, so they started calling him
Scarface, right?
Yep. So then he started calling himself that, and that's kind of what happened with the title of the Show Stealer. Like, people would tell me all the time, "Man, you stole the show," or "Yeah, people need to not want to go. People don't want to go on after you," and all this stuff. And I didn't look at myself like that. But there was a time where I said to myself, you know what? I have to do something to differentiate myself from every other artist. Like, everybody was going viral for either rapping fast or having crazy bars or double timing or like how many backflips they can do off of buildings and shit like that. And it was like, I can't do all that shit. Like, I can rap my ass off.
Right.
I can rap my ass off, but I'm a naturally fast rapper because of how I talk and how many words I have to say in a small amount of time. So it's not something that I purposely did. I didn't rap fast on purpose. So to watch people blow up and go viral because they rap fast seems very fake to me. So I wasn't going to like try to do that to get contrived attention. I said, let me do something. Let me stake a claim on something that nobody I know personally is really pushing themselves to be, and that's the best live performer.
And you know what? And it's like, and with people, and this is what a lot of young artists don't understand, man. Success is so much sweeter when you're doing what you love and you're doing it your way. Like it. You feel like that sense of accomplishment you get when like you're so fucking different from everybody else, and you go out there and you convert this whole crowd. They might not be here to see that shit at all. They might have wanted to turn up. They might have wanted to do all this other type of stuff, but you go in there and you do what you do, and it's weird and it's quirky, but you put your 10,000 hours in and you kill that shit. That'd be the best. You know what I'm saying? And then the bag that come with it or whatever. Like,
it's lovely, man.
It's lovely, bro. So look, I got a question I want to ask, and I'm probably gonna ask every single artist like yourself when they come on my podcast. So I'm looking at this crowd. This crowd is not your mirror reflection.
No.
So I am a Southern conscious underground rapper who raps about. I literally have a song called Black Fist and Gang Signs, right? I rarely, very rarely, rap. Like, even now in the South, now that my name has kind of grown, I would say 80% of my shows have a crowd with 80% people or more who don't look like me. An artist who I'm a really big fan of, Open Mike Eagle.
That's my homie.
He has this line at the end of an EP I want to say he put out last year, and he's like, "I'm trying to reach Black kids in a room full of white folks."
So true.
I had a record that I'm gonna have to do another version of it. So every time we get a new president, I make a song about the president. So when Barack was in office, I made a song called Black President. When Trump got elected, I made a song called Hallelujah, aka Fuck Donald Trump. Like fuck Donald Trump. So FDT and the rap over vocals are the two songs that I've probably known for the most, right?
Okay.
But yeah. I'm in Nebraska, I'm in Indiana, I'm in Vermont, I'm in Minnesota, I'm in places where, you know, it's not, I'm not in front of a quote unquote Black conscious crowd at all, right? I'm mostly in front of white people. What is it like for you? Like, what is it like to look out in the crowd? As much as we love our supporters, like, are there ever times you wish you could talk to your people a little bit more? Are there ever times that, like, maybe you might have said something on stage, or you might have pissed somebody off? You know what I'm saying? I guess from a racial from a racial standpoint. And I guess my last question I want to add to that: why do you think more people who look like us, I'm gonna say more Black people, don't come out to support underground hip hop?
Well, you're asking great questions here, my brother.
So it's a master class. I want look, we really out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so these
man.
are questions. If you're not out here, you ain't had these experiences. So I want to talk to people who share these experiences. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. What you're saying, I mean, even like, do you tour a lot down south? Do you go down south?
Not yes, yeah, of course. I mean, look, so I put my time in. So I met Killer Mike in 2013. He became one of my mentors.
Okay.
He told me the next 2.5 to 3 years, you need to focus on taking care of the Gulf states. So that's what I did. So from 2013, Texas, Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I focus on taking those states over. I bled up to Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Oklahoma originally, so I did stuff in Oklahoma. So I had like a good 5 to 8 state radius that I bled super duper tough. You know what I'm saying? Just going, getting anything I possibly did. It wasn't until I released my album, Cry Freedom, so I started getting called more out the South. And it wasn't until 2017 when I finally broke into the Midwest market. I finally got into New England. I finally got into the Mid-Atlantic. You know what I'm saying? 2018 when I finally got to the East Coast. Finally did New York City in 2019. So for me, like everybody knows, like I guess that side. So I guess when you get closer to the Eastern Standard side of the South, everybody knows that's when you call Big Low. Mm-hmm. But when you come close to the Mississippi in the South, you call Marcel P. Black. I'm the plug.
Gotcha.
Like I've toured in every southern state except for South Carolina. Every state below the man except for South Carolina. But now, so for me, even though I'm a little older, I'm relatively new in on the West Coast in the Bay Area and New England and the Midwest.
Gotcha.
Thank God, you know what I'm saying? I don't really care. I'm proud about my age. I don't care. But
yeah, me too.
I don't like, a lot of people don't realize that I'm like looking at 40 because I still got baby fat. Nobody thinks you know what I'm saying? Like some people still think I'm in my 20s or whatever. But to
them, you know how old I am?
I saw you. If the Wikipedia is correct, you are 46.
I'll be 46 next Monday.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so shout out. Wikipedia got that right. You know what I'm saying?
They got that one right.
And once again, that's why I look up to you, because I'm watching how you added on, like you added years into your career. And I have this thing, and I'm gonna let you answer your question. I'm sorry, no Kanye West there, but
no, you could.
And I think you're a living testament to this, right? In terms of the quote unquote music industry, I do think there is an age limit in the music industry, because those people who are mostly white supremacists at the top of these record labels, you know, it's all about capitalism, and they're only really going to really promote what they can exploit, right? You're not exploiting no grown ass man, right?
Nope.
But you can exploit these dumb ass kids. You know what I'm saying? And the culture, age doesn't matter, because crowds like this just want to have a good fucking show. So it doesn't matter if you was doing this at 45 or 25 or 35, they just want to be rocked. They don't care about all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So so I look at Cesar Comanche doing 60, 70 shows a year and doing college lectures. I look at all the touring that Blueprint does, and I look at Superstition still releasing music. These guys are in their 40s, but they're in the culture. So it don't matter what no fucking young punk kids do or radio people do. And so for me, I think that's why I'm different from a lot of people here in the South, because in the South, everything is mostly geared towards club and radio and street shit. Right? And so my 37-year-old self, I don't look out of place when I'm in the culture. But if I'm trying to be like one of these young niggas wearing skinny jeans and different color hair, which is what they, and look, I try to disparage black people. So that's what they do. Youth culture is youth culture, but I'm a grown ass man, right?
You do you.
And if I try to do that, I'd be looking crazy. So that's a testament to the reason why I was able to kind of kickstart my career at age 27, when most people would quit, because I found my space in the culture. And like you've definitely, with you, what you do, man, you're definitely heavy into the culture. Okay, so I've said too much. I'm gonna go back to the question I asked you.
You good? Okay. I remember what they were too. So,
okay, yeah, you got the memory. You got the memory like that,
right? Okay, so my question that I was gonna ask you to springboard into my answer for you is, even in the South, do you still find crowds that are predominantly white crowds? Even
So
in the South?
it all really depends on the city I'm going to, right? So
Okay.
if it's Atlanta, of course not Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Memphis, not Memphis. Um, Birmingham has a pretty like a strong black hip hop crowd. Jackson, Mississippi has a strong black hip hop crowd. Tulsa, Oklahoma, or whatever. But other than that, other than those 4 or 5 cities, you know what I'm saying? It's either white college kids or white males, you know what I'm saying, 35 and up.
So how are you received by black crowds?
I had to kick everybody's ass. You know what I'm saying? So now, because okay, so I'm like, and I'm gonna send you some of my music. I'm gonna show you some of my performances. So like I said, I'm country as a motherfucker, right? But I'm still a backpacker and I'm still aggressive, right? So I'm aggressive enough. I am aggressive enough. So if I got like a street audience or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If I have a street type of audience, I'm aggressive enough to catch their attention, right? And I stand out because if I'm around a whole bunch of street niggas, I'm the only one that rapping over vocals. So I already stand out there, right? You know, but at the same time, I'm still a backpacker. So when I go to whatever type of crowds, I can pull out my boom bap shit as well. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I'm smart enough to know how to tailor what songs to what particular crowds. I have 15 projects, right? So I know what to pull from, you know, when and where, right? So like, so it depends. Like, so you have your black hip hop crowds, who I do just fine, and those are actually my favorites because I ain't got to fight that hard with them. I can just go do my shit, right? You know what I'm saying? And then I have my street crowds where, you know, more the hood dudes, and I have to be kind of more straight to the point. I can't really talk to them as much. I just got to bust them over the head with these raps or whatever. But I mean, look, I can't compete with what you do, but I'm known as a show stealer as well because
I've heard about you.
Because I'm one of and the reason why is because I lean into what I do, right? And thank God that I've been doing this for so long that I can do a lot of different things. Like I can do like straight up KRS-One Sound of the Police sample, or I could do this record, you know what I'm saying, that sound like Big Crit, or I can do this, you know, I got a song that sounds straight like some UGK type shit or whatever, and it's all me. I got like, I was one of the first people in my region, one of the first people period, but like 2013, I released a project called Trap Hop. It was an acronym for True Rebellion Against Poison, Harming Oppressed People, right? And so it was straight trap, what trap sounded like at the time, right? And I'm kicking these black ass rhymes. Like I'm always gonna rap black ass rap. Nice. What I do. Right. My rhymes is always gonna be it's one or two things. Well, not one or two, but focus around two different things. It's gonna be about the love of hip hop culture and the love of an empowerment of black people. And many times using hip hop culture too, you know, whatever. So those are the two things. And what I've learned with myself is, as long as I give my fan base what they like, they don't care what type of beat I rap over.
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And so of course, when I go to places where I may not have a fan base, that's when I kind of have to pick and choose what I do. So I'm of course when I go to New England or when I go to Minnesota, that's what I'm always gonna start off with some Southern shit just to let niggas know how I'm coming. But you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna put in more of my backpack shit, my boom bap shit. But when I'm in Atlanta, when I'm in Alabama, when I'm in Memphis, that's when I might pull out my trap shit a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Okay. So that gives some light to my answer. When I'm just, you know, because of where I live and where I've been fortunate enough to tour, it's predominantly white crowds. You know, I rarely have nights where I rap in front of more of a room full of black people. And when I do it, I know how to get them because, you know, we're our own worst critics with one another. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm my own worst critic as a performer, but black people are really critical of how we perform for them. You know, like a black person will tell you straight up if you ain't black enough for them,
Yes.
They will tell you that, you know, we need some more hood, we need some more street. I had a couple of black artists I know in Minnesota tell me I needed to, you know, when is the hood going to get Carnage back, or, you know, when you gonna put some more nigga in your music. And I've been told that before, and I said, well, you know, the hood never had me, and I'm not a nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I may have used to use the term quite a bit, but I realized that I didn't live up to the stereotypes, so I stopped using it. I didn't live up to the negative stereotypes, so I just got rid of using the term.
I got you. Okay.
You know, like, it is what it is. But if I don't like the rest of it, I'm not going to use it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't knock anybody who does use it, because, you know, I also had a brother tell me, he was like, you use nigga more than anybody I know. I remember a homie of mine told me that, and that was one of the reasons I stopped using it. Because when he said that, I was like, damn. Like, he wasn't telling me like it was a compliment. He was telling me like, man, you use this word a lot. And I was like, well, if you a brother saying that to me, what do other people think? What are people thinking about how often I use it and not telling me? And I'm from Minnesota, where they're passive aggressive. You know, they won't tell you how they really feel, and they talk about you like a dog behind your back. So it's like, you know what? I just need to do something a little different. And I have a large enough vocabulary that I can find different words to use. Like, I'd rather use boss or king or family or homie or brother.
Right.
You know, all of those work just fine too, as terms of endearment.
Right.
So anyway, back to answering your question. The way I get the crowds when I'm in the room with them, when they are predominantly black, is I start pulling out my cover shit. I start pulling out my Dr. Dre's and my Snoops and my Ghetto Boys and my Beastie Boys even. You know, I start pulling out all of this stuff that I know my people grew up liking and listening to. And once I get them with that, I got them for the rest of the night.
Gotcha.
Especially on the West Coast, it's really easy to get crowds hooked in by doing West Coast hip hop, because West Coast hip hop is actually really easy to remake for me. You know, those beats, those Dr. Dre beats with my effects and what I do are really easy to remake. And plus, you know, Snoop Dogg is a very charismatic rapper. He's easy to want to learn how to imitate. So when I learned how to imitate Snoop, I was all good. Scarface is one of my favorite rappers. You know, I love Willie D. Ghetto Boys, I'm a big Ghetto Boys fan. You know, so that type of hip hop and Beastie Boys, all of that, Run DMC, LL Cool J, all of that, that's what I grew up on. So I just start hitting people with that stuff to get them open. And then I can do any of my own stuff and feel comfortable in a room full of black people. But either way, I'm coming in to show my shit. You know, so if you don't like it, then you probably should leave. You probably should check your hip hop taste if you ain't feeling me. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say it.
Like if, for me, it's like it's maybe 2 or 3 times where I go out in a year's time, it just doesn't work. But for the most part, like, okay, if I'm not coming here to do what you think a stereotypical black person is gonna do, I can live with that. But God damn it, you're gonna have to purposely front on me. Like you're gonna have to be like, yeah, that nigga tight, but fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm about to give you this work. I'm about to work as hard as I can to have everybody saying my call and response. I'm gonna dap you down. You know what I'm saying? In the crowd, I'm gonna shake your hand. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna do these chants together. We're gonna have our hands in the air. Like you're gonna have to, you're gonna literally have to say, well, I just don't like good MCing. I don't like, you're gonna have to say, I just want them to rap over vocals. I just rather have, because at the end of the day, it's like, and that's where it comes into like that, you know, all those other things that you do off the microphone to really build up your skill set. You know what I'm saying? So I'm watching your videos, and I know these are things that you rehearse. You know what I'm saying? That you study, and you are a master at your craft, right?
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. I try not to over rehearse or overdo my stuff because I want my stuff to be fresh every time I go on stage. So I actually don't practice very much. Like I don't I actually, like when I'm making the beats and stuff, most of that is like it's straight from the dome. Like I'll really be like, I'm not saying that to like make myself look cooler than what I am, because like let me give you a story. For example, I remember one time I was getting ready to go and do a show, and I was like, I want to do Ain't Nothing But a G thing tonight. I've never done that before. So I was in the shower and I was doing the melody, and I was like, I got this. When I got out of the shower and went to my show, I did Ain't Nothing But a G thing for the first time, and it worked. Like I literally visualized it in my head, and I may go over it right before I do it just to make sure I got the melody and the timing right. And then I just go and execute. And if it works, then I just keep doing it. And I think that's a privilege I can pull from because of my memory from music. It literally is that. So I don't have to practice as much because of my memory for music. And what I do practice a lot though is my raps. My raps, I really work on getting the flows down. Like if you listen to me stylistically, I really ride pockets when I rap. And that is the part that I really practice at getting right. The enunciation, the timing of all of these metaphors and punchlines and the wordplay and stuff. I really work at that. The beat stuff comes really easy to me, actually. So when you have one thing you practice a lot at, and then you have another thing you're kind of a natural at, then it makes your show half as hard. Does that make sense?
100%. And look. So I'm gonna pause you right there. I want to pivot real quick. I wasn't gonna do this because we going on. I'm trying to be brief, but I'm loving what we're talking about here.
Let's go.
So I'm listening to Ravenous, right? So what I do is I play my Xbox and I listen to hip hop. Podcast hip hop, right? So I'm listening to Ravenous. And one thing that I really enjoyed about you as an artist, and I respect it, is that like I think a lot of us underground guys, well, I know a lot of underground guys, and I'm guilty of this too. I think we're really fucking good what we do, but at the end of the day, we're not that popular. And so we don't always give ourselves props. And so me and Megaran have talked about this. We deal with imposter syndrome.
You and who?
Megaran.
Oh, that's the other homie.
Yeah, bro, we know we're the same people.
Dope live.
That's my guy.
Dope
like I was blessed to be on their album. I brought him to Batteries a couple times. Blessed to be on the Two Hands album he did with Young RJ, whatever. Oh, he's I have a song on my record with him, and like that's my guy. But even I've heard him talk about imposter syndrome, right? So when I listen to Carnage the Executioner, I do not hear imposter syndrome. Like you talk your shit. Like you talk your shit, and I love it. And I like you talk like, and I guess that's the reason why. Like, I mean, you said you practice. You don't really practice your beatboxing. You practice your raps, but it's evident that you put your time in.
Oh yeah.
And you talk about that. Like you're proud of the time that you put in. And for me, like I said, like it's very inspirational. Like I understand it. Like I'm trying to get into a place. I've been going to therapy and shit because I'm grieving my father, but you know what I'm saying, passing. But I'm really trying to get to the place where I really step into myself and like really drop my nuts because I have the accolades. Just because everybody might not respect them the same where I live at, I got the fucking accolades. So the song,
well, we got a lot in common, bro.
We do 100%. Like I feel the philosophy of a good mentorship friendship thing between us. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Williams and Mr. Woods. But so what I want to do is I want to play a couple songs from Ravenous. This is the song that I feel like you was talking that shit on, and I love it. More hip hop than you. So I'm gonna play this real quick. Make sure my make sure my sound is back right. Hold on.
My joint.
Yeah. You was on here talking that talk, and I love it. Right. It's definitely the talk of a veteran who's kicked a lot of ass and can back it up. So I love it. All right. So this is more hip hop than you.
More hip-hop than you. Drive in your lane, I don't forget not to do. Send threat that you should improve and try quitting. Should I stop trying to make you live what I'm living? More hip-hop than you. Doubt if you want, but I legit got the proof. You're a rapper and the MC is my giving. Gotta stop trying to make you live what I'm living. Rightfully, you don't understand it, cause I know kinda seems like I'm on a planet of my own. Gift and a curse, or it's possibly fair to say no one I know is more hip-hop than me. The attention I give it, I'll have y'all complaining. Take a day to talk about and study a rap song arrangement. Almost missed a flight cause I was reloading my iPod. When inspired, anything I see open, I write on. Creativity won't stop when it's time to drive. Kind of guy to pull over, park the car and write a rhyme. Futuristic work ethic, I truly go Jetson. Known to pull a 14-hour studio session. Perfectionist, ears proper, way wicked. Track sounds like the gear of Dr. Dre mixed it. Leave ready, then appear on rocket stage premise. You close? Nowhere near, and not today, bitches. Audiographic memory ill off the head. But wanna change the world for the nil cost of lead. Nowadays my weapon is canceled, but at times rhymes have to add a head to the mantle. Set an example. Why my appeal? Fit to convert the plans. Kept my originals and I'm getting some current fans. But testing me can make you a victim of circumstance. Need to keep wearing skinnies and stick with this murder dance.
More hip-hop than you.
Drive in your lane, I don't forget not to do.
Eat the beat, old school when design steering. Should I stop trying to make you hear what I'm hearing? More hip-hop than you.
Doubt if you want, but I'll let you got the proof.
Maybe I'm beating a dead horse, time's nearing. Have to stop trying to make you hear what I'm hearing.
You're falling through the cracks and claiming hip-hop, play it a lot, but I haven't saw the truth and passion.
That's whack, you're soft.
I'll give all of you a thrashing, in your basement you rock, but y'all are moving backwards. I see when you begin you can't spit, tried to shove a 16 into a 15-second Instagram clip. Beats on your phone with vocals, cuff holding a mic, knowing the type, barely did a show in your life. Mic is beating back, you try to punch a sound man, caught up in your takeover the underground plan. Purist at your core and do it for the love of it, self-defeated, nothing worthy of support and coverage. Pressured up your message, allow it along. Stay. Might have a point, but you go about it the wrong way. I've been in that same place of entitlement, but skills may not ever take us where an idol went. Less of a social life I wrote, thinking vocals might someday reach the greats. Hopeful type, spent years ripping tracks and dissing whack instead of spitting facts. Did I lose growing days I'm never getting back? Kept it real, now should I funnel feelings there? Got history, but I'm the only one who really cares. The golden age is gone, time I change direction, or fuss and look old sitting by my tape collection.
More hip-hop than you.
Drive in your lane, I don't forget not to do.
Cultural disconnect, few find a meaning. Should I stop trying to make you see what I'm seeing? More hip-hop than you.
Doubt if you want, but I'll let you got the proof.
Moment of clarity due to my meeting. I'll stop trying to make you see what I'm seeing.
Man, so like it's funny because like, you know, Zuck really works against us as it pertains to algorithms. But on Facebook, because I've been talking about rap over vocals for so long, anytime somebody posts, it ends up on my timeline, right? And if
Right.
I'm probably tagged in a post by somebody talking about how they hate over vocals rap at least 3 times a day. You know,
Oh, wow.
And that's just during COVID. Don't let shows actually be going on, right? You know what I'm saying? But I get tagged in it, and then it's always on my timeline. And so when I see it, I put my hashtags on, I put my little logo, and that's kind of like how I keep the algorithms, right? But I guess I do that so much that internally, the algorithms in my mind, when I hear anything anti-over vocals rap, I heard it. So I heard you talk about rap, you know, playing beats off your phone, rap it over your lyrics. I'm like, so, you know, just like the 4th or 5th song on the record. I heard that, I'm like, yes. Like I was like, okay, he's definitely like anytime somebody's rapping about that, it's like it plays in the algorithm of my mind. But like I said, the thing I love about this record is like you talk about I'm more hip hop. Like you know this, Carnage, you know this, bro. Like it is a fight to make hip hop cool, right?
Oh yeah.
It is a fight. And then, like I said, me being a conscious hip hop artist, right? And like a proud conscious hip hop artist with no shame, like, you know, it definitely is a fight just to be hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And like, so I love the fact that like you're leaning into it. Like, man, you know, you hear the people like, man, them old school hip hop ass niggas, like, no, I'm proud of that shit, bro. Yeah. And and you're saying like I'm more hip hop than you, and I'll whip your ass on the stage too. You talk about how you put your time in as an MC, and like you got, you know. You say I got the accolades, even if y'all don't care. I did the shit, right? And I try to tell younger artists this, man, is like, look, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, of course, you need to have good self-confidence, right? You need to love what you do. But at the end of the day, your legacy won't be based on your opinion. Your legacy will be based on what you was able to contribute to the culture at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
And so,
and you see, that's why that's why the last verse of this song was different.
Yes.
See, the first one was me bragging about being more hip hop than you, and the second verse was me taking the same statement and saying maybe that's working against me.
Okay.
So I don't know if people catch that. So I'm saying, like, so when I at the beginning I was saying, you know, futuristic work ethic, I truly go Jetson.
I saw that.
Known to pull a 14-hour studio session. Perfectionist, ears proper, way wicked. Track sounds like the gear of Dr. Dre mixed it. Just talking my shit. But then later on I say, what about those hip hop artists who are always talking about being so hip hop? I'm the old head. Fuck that new hip hop bullshit. Fuck that mumble rap, all of this. We sound like old men. Old crabby ass men to young cats who are trying to come up. And imagine if Big Daddy Kane and them said that about us when we was trying to come up.
Right.
So I poke fun at all of us who are the old heads who are down and disrespecting everybody else just because we got more years than everybody else. So that's why I say I kept it real. Now should I funnel feelings there? I got history, but I'm the only one who really cares. You know what I'm saying?
You know, so I feel like, so I'm born in 83, right? So I'm right on that cusp. Like, I'm not quite the uncle rapper yet, but I'm not the young boy either, right? So like, I'm the generation that came after you guys, and I'm the generation that's raising these young guys, right? So for me, and I think because I'm a Southerner, I'm very careful about how I critique young people as it pertains to hip hop. And I say this because and I've went on full rants and I've been on podcasts about this, right? Like, I try my damnedest, Carnage. I try my damnedest not to chastise young people because their music sounds different, because I believe in cultural intent, right? So I don't think sound, I don't think style, I don't think whatever, or location or era, I don't think that dictates what hip hop is. I think hip hop at its, you know, if we're talking all four elements, or when we're talking culture, I think hip hop at its purest is honest self-expression, right?
Yep.
So I don't think that my backpack shit is any more hip hop than my country rap tune shit, because my intention is the same.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My intention is the same. My intention is the same. So for me, when I talk to these young kids, my thing is, okay, like, I literally right now, I'm blessed. I was doing music full time, had to go back because of COVID. I am blessed to teach hip hop for a living. I have a class, a curriculum I call Free Hip Hop, and I literally, like, I got my degree in history. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm a conscious rapper, right? So basically, I'm teaching my young people about hip hop culture, hip hop history, and how it intersects with social justice. Like today I taught my kids, like, so last Monday and Tuesday, I used Dead Prez to teach about Pan-Africanism and middle school kids and European beauties and standards and African diaspora. Today I used okay, so then Thursday and Friday I talked Common, and then today we did Nas, right? And so I'm trying to show these young people, like, the art of storytelling too. And I tell them, like, look, I'm not saying y'all gotta be conscious rappers, but we're going to survey the culture from the lens of people with a particular political education, right? So anyway, so what I do is I have them give me the artists they listen to. You know what I'm saying? And once they give me the artists they listen to, I come through it and I find that cultural intent. So to me, one of the best quote unquote Black Lives Matter song that has come out is a song called The Bigger Picture. It's by artist named Lil Baby. Lil Baby is a straight up mumble rapper. He's not so much a mumble rapper, but he's not an MC at all, right? But he wrote one of the most honest, like, I guess what you can call Black Lives Matter songs. He got nominated for a Grammy, but like, it's a really good record, and it's important because it's going to reach these young people in ways that Chuck D will never be able to in 2020. But he might not have another goddamn hip hop song, but because of his cultural intent, this fucking trap rapper, you know what I'm saying, has a hip hop record because it's honest self-expression. And so, like I said, I'm sensitive to that because I'm a Southerner. Like Carnage, you have no idea how hard I had to fight to get into the Midwest, because even though like it took somebody like Bigelow, who was Latino, but you know, he's white, he looks white. You know what I'm saying? It took some person like Dinku, like people, you know what I'm saying, to bless me into these spaces, because regardless of everything I've done in the community and the culture and my accolades, when they see based in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the first thing they think is Lil Boosie.
Mm.
And I'm not gonna go there about Lil Boosie right now because I'll be all day about that or whatever. So all that to say, so I try not to treat young artists the way people from outside the South treat Southerners. You understand what I'm saying? And so for
I
me,
appreciate that.
And so for me, so as a facilitator, I teach love of the culture and respect for the culture. So I had, man, you would have been perfect for this event, but I'm probably about to stop doing it because of COVID. Well, I have stopped it, but I'm probably not gonna bring it back. So one of the other things I'm known for, like what makes me the plug in the South, I have this event called Fade the Flow Sundays. Every
what is it? Say it one more time.
Fade the Flow Sundays.
Okay.
It is a hip hop community event in a barbershop once a month on a Sunday. It's a free show and we feed people. We literally have a caterer every single month. And so what happened was I was going to all these different hip hop shows, and people who ain't never did a show before, you know, they paying to play, or their homeboys the promoter, and they getting in front of 200 or 300 people on their first performance, rapping with vocals, and it fucking sucks, right? It's bad. And so I was like, okay, boom. I don't necessarily want to do an open mic because when you're a facilitator for open mic, it's kind of difficult to do quality control. So I wanted to do a closed mic event to where if you're serious, you have to submit. Basically, you have to email me everything, which are the major tenets that you would put in the EPK. Your bio, your pictures, your song links, blah, blah, blah.
So you checking their business savvy at the same time. They can't follow directions and they don't get a show.
Right. And that weeds out so much of the riffraff, right? You know what I'm saying? And my rule is, Carnage, I don't care how old you are. I don't care how young you are. I don't care if you're a backpacker. I don't care if you're a street nigga. I don't care if you do West Coast crip walking music. You cannot rap over vocals. And like literally, we have rules that states if you rap over vocals, your song will be stopped. You will be given the opportunity to switch your verse a cappella, go to the next song. If you choose not to do so, you will be excused from performance for the rest of the night. And so I have
standard.
It's so for me, and because it goes back to, even if you're a turn up rapper, right? If you were turn up, whatever, if you wear the skinny jeans, if you do that shit without vocals and your breath control and your live show is just as good as it sounds on record without vocals, you're going to stand out amongst everybody else. And like, I see, just like I bring a lot of people to Baton Rouge, I send a lot of rappers from Baton Rouge out of town, and I always get calls back from people, the OGs of different scenes. Hey man, your boys are the only people who didn't rap over vocals. The artists you sent me, they the only people that was there on time, you know what I'm saying, with merch and sound checking, and they was because so it was kind of like a gladiator school, right? So like, but and so for me, it's like it's about. So what I would do is, and this is the reason why I say you would be perfect for this event. I would go after artists who might not have had a buzz. They might not have done a whole bunch of features. Many times it was their first show, and I would let them begin the show. But I will always try to end it with like an accomplished touring artist. So I've had Truth Universal, I've had Cesar Comanche. Man, I had Wordsworth. So for the 3rd anniversary last year, I had Wordsworth be the feature, and it was sponsored by Hip Hop DX.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Big Low's done it. Poe Mac has done it from Virginia. But my thing is like this is like, you know how it is, man. Like when we with our youngins all the time, it's like, you know, we the dads, and and so everything we saying is going in one out the other. So I bring the cool uncles in to tell them the exact same goddamn shit that I've been saying to you motherfuckers for 2 years. So it sounds different coming from Wordsworth. It sounds different coming from Cesar Comanche. You know, I've had people come from. I had a nigga come from Haiti, bro, to do this show. He flew from. He caught a boat to Miami and fucking flew from Haiti. So all I have to say is just like, so like I said, because I saw what happened to Southerners, I try not to impart the same thing on young people. And for
That's
me,
real.
I look at it like this: like my children are on my album, right? I want their grandchildren to enjoy hip hop.